Hey everybody, this is Brett with the Indie Comics Dispatch, and broadcasting from an undisclosed location deep within the Milky Way galaxy. This is a broadcast from the Dispatch.
If you got a story and you want the world to know it, if you think you ready and you ain't afraid to show it, throw your hands up high, yeah, we might stand out. We always representing cause that's what it's all about. We always representing cause that's what it's all about. And if you love some indie comics, let me hear you shout. Like, just stay tuned, what's the story? Had to get that every time a brand new indie comic from the Dispatch.
Good evening, everyone. We have a great guest tonight, one of my favorite people, and singer and writer and creator, really, of the Indie Comics Dispatch theme song there, broadcast from the Dispatch theme song, David Gueringer. We'll get him on just a minute. And David, when I put you on, remind me to tell you something about that theme song. Couple announcements. So this is actually, as of right now, things can change. But this is our last scheduled live stream. Now, the podcast is not going away. We're just going to a pre-recorded format, and we'll still air a video of the recording. It just won't be live. It won't be as interactive. Brian and I's work schedules have just been insane lately. Our work-life balance has not been balanced. And so he's either always got something going on or I have something going on. And it's just not been working out, but we finally found like a common time. And we're gonna take the show in a slightly different directions for some more intimate conversations as a pre-recorded show. Sometimes it'll just be Brian and I, sometimes we'll have a guest on, but we'll explore the creative process, some specific topics to indie comics that will help new creators and hopefully some old creators alike, and just spread the wisdom, spread the advice. And this is not a negative thing, but there are so many shows out there now with similar vibes, that we thought, you guys take that, you guys have that, and we're going to try something different. And so we're going to experiment a little bit with the podcast, to maybe not duplicate what other people are doing. So look for that in the coming weeks. We have a bank of shows to release through the podcast still. Again, work-life balance got a little behind on that, but they're all getting scheduled out now, one a week for the next few weeks till we're caught up. And then we'll start into the new format. So look for more information on that. Also coming down the pipeline very soon that I wanted to let everybody know about is Tales from the Dispatch Volume 4, an anthology series that we try to get new creators in, or creators who hadn't really been published a lot, into that for short story anthologies. Look for announcements coming to that very soon. Volume 3 was awesome. I loved Volume 3. I loved reading all the different stories that were in there. And it was just an amazing piece that got printed through Lesser Known Comics, and I can't wait to see Volume 4 come out. So look for more information about that. We'll play their sponsor spot in a minute, but for now I want to mention that we are proudly sponsored by Comics Wellspring. If you are a creator and you need your stuff printed, comic books, posters, cards, stickers, they're your people. Comics Wellspring, not only is their products great, the outcome is great, their customer service is top notch, and I'm about to be sending all the Immortalis stuff to be printed by them. So man, working with them has been wonderful so far, and I can't wait for you guys to see the finished product and just know that Comics Wellspring really has independent creators' backs with everything they do. So anyway, without any, Brian's not going to be here tonight. I don't think. He may pop in later if it allows, but work-life balance again. If we see him, we see him. If we don't, we don't. Without any further ado, here's tonight's guest, David Gueringer. David. welcome back to the dispatch. Though you're kind of here every time we have a show because you start the show for us every time.
That's true. Oh,
So
it was so much fun working on that.
I loved it. We had kind of one route at the beginning, and that was totally my fault. And then I heard your take on it. I was like, "That's cool, but I don't know if that's what I want." Then you're like, "No, I got this." And then you just did it, and it was phenomenal. Phenomenal. The end result is amazing.
Hey, thank
And
you.
I wanted to tell you, every time we have people on, they maybe haven't watched the beginning of the show, maybe haven't watched the show at all before they agreed to become a guest. Shame on them. They will go through that intro, and afterwards will be like, "Holy shit, that's a legit opening." I was like, it is, and it's
Oh
not my
yeah,
doing.
it is. It is. Had you not reached out to me, it
That's
wouldn't have
true.
come to existence. So thank you
That's
for giving me
true.
the opportunity to grace you all show with a banger of a theme song.
Banger of a theme song. That's true. So for those that don't know, David is a creator of indie comic theme songs, creator of motion comics, all around musical genius in my book because I have zero musical talent. And one of the creators of a new game. I'm going to say it, Janken Jutsu.
You got it. He was
Yes.
so nervous, y'all.
I was so nervous.
He was so nervous.
If Brian were here, I would not have gotten it right just because of his judgmental eyes. He's got judgy eyes. No.
You did it though.
I did it. I did it. So first of all, let's just talk about you. Tell us more about you as a creator yourself, as a musician, and some of the stuff that you're working on right now. Tell us about David.
Sure, thanks. So hey everybody, I'm David D Major. Some of y'all may know me as my stage name. But I'm a performer, a story writer, a creator. I just really love stories and I help people get it out there. So I was born and raised in Chicago, and I grew up a pretty like shy and nerdy kid. And honestly, music was sort of what got me out of my shell. One of my mentors when I was younger, Tazama's son, he wasn't gonna be there for school band performance. We all got our recorders. He's like, I want you to lead the band. And I'm like, no one here knows who I am. They don't listen to me. They don't care what I have to say. How am I supposed to lead them? But having someone believe in me, and sort of empower me through music really guided a lot of my creative endeavors past that. So I still perform. I teach music now, so I can return that same gift that has been given to me. And I just really love working with different creators. So it really started. Say like when the pandemic happened, we're all stuck at home, started reaching out to people, just offering to do some musical fan art. And a lot of the people, they liked my music enough to commission me for more songs. And next thing I knew, I knew a bunch of people from the creative community. I was reading a bunch of new stories that I had never heard of, probably wouldn't have heard of. And it really made me invested in helping other really great creators just get seen. Because there's so much great content that just needs support, and they need people that are passionate, that love it, to help get it out there. So I'm happy to be one of those people.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I do wonder how many people entered the world of independent comics when Diamond shut down because of the pandemic. Like, I wonder how many lives were changed with better storytelling because of that.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. People got their stimulus checks. So it was like, I'm making me a comic book. I'm stuck at home. Everybody's got time to read now. It really was. It might be something we look back on as like, oh, that was a golden era of creation.
Yeah.
Like everybody just stuck at home, incubating, building stuff. I mean, that's when we made this card game.
Yeah, I mean, and same here. That's when we made Indie Comics Dispatch. It started from me reaching out to indie comic creators and then finding like-minded people and just kind of blossomed.
I guess that just shows you when life gives you lemons. Sometimes it's the lemonade we get from it.
Yeah, yeah. So,
but big shout out to go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
So I'll say big shout out to the rest of my team at Next Arc Studios. We've been creating together for a while. Imani, Davon, Deontay, John, and we have a lot of other collaborators that we work with. So it's been a blessing to not only be a creator, but also to be able to create with a team.
Yeah.
So definitely got to say that up front foremost.
Very cool. So we have a couple things we're going to put on the screen at some point. You just tell me when.
Okay.
But you were saying that during the pandemic, you kind of began on this creative process of creating this game. So tell us a little bit about Janken Jutsu and what it is, how people can play. What was the inspiration for it? Some of your fellow creators. Just give us the deep dive.
For sure. So Janken Jutsu, just to explain the name, it's a ninja rock paper scissors. So it's based off of Japanese name for rock paper scissors, Janken Po. But
Gotcha.
they're ninjas, so they use jutsu, different ninja techniques. So that's just sort of the story behind the title. But before the pandemic, we would frequent conventions, and we would like to just make up games and things to do with people and record it. It's on our YouTube channel. We were those kind of people.
The fun people. You were the fun people.
Yeah. Come up and I see somebody cosplaying as Goku and someone cosplaying as One Punch Man, and ask them, hey, who can do the most push-ups?
and go.
Go. Have a push-up contest. But we like to engage people in different ways because it's fun to have other ways to meet people other than going to panels and buying things. So that was just something we took upon ourselves to just do at conventions. Janken Jutsu was one of those games. So it wasn't a card game when we initially started. It was actually cat's messing with me. I knew this cat was gonna mess with me while I was on stream. That's why I got my spray bottle. They're gone. Won't be seeing him again.
I need a spray bottle for when kids come down and mess with me. Just spray my kids.
It probably worked the same.
Probably.
Hey, it's all love. But it started as a game that we played in person. So it was themed off Naruto. We used sort of like 3 different actions where you charge, attack, and guard. We'll get more into that later. But there's other videos of us playing that with other people, and it was just something fun to do. And it was very eye-catching when you're in cosplay and you're just sort of like doing this crazy hand body thing, and they're like, "What's going on? How do you play that?" So it was getting a lot of attention. So we're like, let's make more of this.
Yeah.
World shuts down. How do we keep playing this game if we can't meet in person and play the game? So after a lot of failed ideas, we came across this website called PlayingCards.io that would let you put in custom assets for a tabletop, and that gave us the idea of what if we made it a card game? And the rest was history.
Cool. That's really cool. So do you want me to play this video?
Yeah.
Or wait.
Check out the video.
Okay. I'm gonna.
So the video is gonna be the origin stories of the lore behind the card game. So far we've been working on this project for about 3 years. I'll go into all of the different artists and people that contributed after we do the video. Awesome. But it was not a quick process. I remember the first 3 months of making it, I thought we were done. We were like, where are the publishers at? We need to get this game out there. I'm so glad that we did it because it's so much better now that we took time. We learned a lot about the whole process, start to finish, not just the design elements, but also like the printing elements. You got to get your sizes right.
Yeah. No, I remember you reaching out to me and saying, hey, I forget what it was, but it's like you asked me if I knew anybody else doing something similar.
Yeah, you introduced me to Jason.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, if you're watching, I love your content, love your animations, love your games.
He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. But here's the video.
Grandfather used to tell me stories about the era of war. Bloodthirsty warlords constantly fought over land and power. Our people had no choice but to hire samurai to protect the villages. However, their protection came at a cost. The samurai became ruthless, extorting villages for whatever they could take. 4 brave warriors took arms against the samurai, but they were no match and captured. Now prisoners, the warriors were forced to work as ninja. Pushed to their utmost limits, their unwavering resolve led each ninja to encounter a unique spirit. These spirits revealed to them an internal energy known as chakra. By harnessing this energy, the ninja created powerful jutsu to defeat the samurai and finally restore peace to our land. That was a long time ago, and nowadays there's really no need for such deadly techniques. Instead, to honor Poe's ninja heritage, a sport emerged. Clans train in secret, developing new spectacular jutsu in preparation for a grand tournament. Janken Jutsu, that's where I'll compete. For honor, glory, and for my chance to leave my mark on ninja history.
I love that video. I either saw it on the page or you sent it to me or something a while back, and I love that point in the middle where it kind of turns, where it's like, but that was a long time ago. I love that part.
Thank you. It's funny how many people say that. I didn't think
Really?
that it would like hit like that when we said it. Like, yeah, we don't do any of that stuff anymore. It was crazy. But
Right.
yeah, shout out to Taylor Ruiz, who's a voice actor for that segment, the origin story. She did an amazing job.
She did. It was really great.
And in terms of like the different, you all see more of the art when we do it, but there was definitely the cross international, interregional team of artists, really shows the power of the internet, because all the people that, helped make the artwork for the game, all but one of them I've never met.
Wow.
In person,
Wow.
at least.
That's cool.
So my friend Kiba Freeman, he did the background art for the cards. Actually, should we wait till we actually show them? Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
Right.
I want y'all to see it. I don't want to just say their name and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, that's cool. I want you to see what they actually did, because it's pretty cool.
So before we get into the game, because we do have it played up on playingcards.io and we're going to go through it. But so you had this idea for a game that was a physical game that you played at conventions, and then you took it to a physical product game. What lessons did you learn along the way there that maybe you weren't expecting in that process of bringing this product about?
It was really like a culmination of everything that I've ever done in my life rolled into one project. So, I mean, I think the biggest learning curve was the printing things. People, they may be familiar with design elements, and collaborating with the artists and, getting the design that you're looking for. But they might not consider, well, if this is going to be printed, they need to know that before they even start.
Yeah.
You can't back and say, oh, this actually needs to be this size. It's like, well, you need to pay me to draw it again.
Yeah.
So that sort of like, I'll just say it, pressure, for lack of a better term, that it's like, we need to make sure that we get all of these numbers and we're communicating this information right. Shout out to one of the main artists, Menes Salas, who did the background image, which is the cover for the box that you see behind me.
Nice.
He lives in Spain. So, you also have to consider, there might be differences in metrics.
Right.
They're doing centimeters over there, but they might be doing inches, or, over here.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of differences. But he's amazing. He's really good to work with. And honestly, it was a blessing to be able to work with him as a first-time creator. It's being somebody that was more experienced with printing. So, he was able to help us figure out, oh, this is what we need, and let us know up. Because sometimes artists might not know that themselves. Like, I draw a lot of pictures, but I don't really know about printing. So when you told me to draw this, I just opened up a canvas and did it. I didn't know it needed to be a certain size.
Or print resolution or whatever. Yeah.
Color type, because they got different, printing colors.
Yeah, you should print in CMYK, whereas digital is RGB. Yeah. There's all sorts of intricacies when you get things to printing. I can imagine going to a game is even harder to get all that on the same page.
Right. With a comic book, more or less all the pages are the same size.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But you have cards, you have mats, you might have chips or tokens.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of different things that you're printing on. I think the biggest blessing through all of it was to be able to have other creators that I met who are just a lot more experienced. When we start playing the game, you guys will see the art from in jail at Oneshi Press, who has been a creator for a long time and is very wise and just really kind. So if you ask him, he'll genuinely like think about it and give you some really valid suggestions.
That's cool. That's cool.
So just
That's
having
one of the
other people, that was big.
That's one of the things I love about the indie comic community, for the most part, is how willing people are to help one another. And
Mm,
so, and you're involved in the indie comic community, and then you come up with this idea of a game, and people are still like, "Hell yeah, I'll help you!" Like, it's not a comic, but it's got so many different comic book elements to it, anime
right.
elements. It's really really cool.
And if y'all saw
So,
the origin story, know that there will be a comic for it.
ooh, I was gonna ask that later on. That's awesome.
We
That's
are
awesome. So
planning a more extended story, sort of our take on ninjas, something that's a little bit more secretive and stealthy than maybe some of the other ninja shows that we've seen.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So, do you want to get into the game now, or what else do you need to tell us about the game before we get into it?
Um, like you mentioned, we can play the game online. I'm not sponsored, but I'm gonna still give a shout out to playingcards.io because they've created an amazing platform that they're constantly updating. That I feel like a lot of creators who may be interested in games don't realize that you can use the platform for free. You can upload custom images, game pieces, coins, chips. I helped another creator, Vince White, recently
Oh yeah.
put his game crossplay in there. So, and it's just a great way to actually be able to play and test your game out. Because again, with all of the printing and the things that go into producing it, your worst nightmare could be making the whole thing, and then you print it out, and people are like, this kind of sucks. This
Yeah.
card's kind of busted. This mechanic's a little broken. This piece doesn't do anything. So to have like a virtual space where you can workshop it, we've had so many changes. We've had a lot of beta testers. So shout out to the whole Janken Jutsu Discord that give us feedback, that play. So we're very confident that it's a game that people will enjoy. And I hope more people that are interested in making games with their stories consider using Playing Cards IO.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. It sounds really cool, especially that it's for free. I love it.
Works on all devices, and I have my Linktree link. So if you click there and you want to play, there's the Janken Jutsu group where you can find out all that you need to know about the game.
I'm going to go ahead and drop it. I'll drop it later too, but I'm going to drop your Linktree link in the comments so the people have that. And you can reference it throughout. So it's Linktree, the linktr.ee/Nextark Studios. For anybody listening to the podcast version of this, if you want to check out all the links, we'll try to put it down in the show notes of the podcast also. Yeah. So do you want to pull this up, or
you ready to play?
I'm ready to play.
Learn some Janken Jutsu. It's your first time.
Since I've said it correctly like 2 or 3 times now, I think I'm ready to play.
Let's do it.
Okay. So if you're commenting, I'm gonna have to switch tabs so that I can actually play. So I'll come and check comments every now and then, just FYI. All right. So this is where you go to when you're in a room for playingcards.io, right? I think they called it a room.
Yeah, that's what they call it in Playing Cards IO as well.
Okay.
So it's just your standard room. That it works on all devices. So whether you're using your phone or the computer, you got it. And this is actually, I made this link custom for Indie Dispatch. So if you like the game and you want to send it to anyone else to play, it's all yours.
That's
and
awesome.
Whoever you send it to.
So take us through.
This? I'm gonna put your name here.
Okay.
Brett. Here we go. All right. So Janken Jutsu, it's a very simple game. The object of the game is to attack your opponent while they're charging. And that's it. So to start the game, you're going to draw these 4 cards to your hand, which is the white rectangle at the bottom.
Okay.
So you just drag and drop those into your hand.
Okay, drag all of them.
Yep, grab all 4.
Okay.
So I have the how to play rules up here in case you want a refresher. So when it's your turn, we'll both take it from our hand. We'll set it face down. They'll automatically go face down. And once they're both set there, we can flip it over.
All right. So it's concept of rock paper scissors, and so I'm going to describe this real quick to people listening to the podcast. There's a basically a play mat in front of us on playingcards.io. David and I both drew 4 cards, and we're about to both played a card, and we're about to see what each other played. And again, rock paper scissors mentality here, where there's block, hit, and what's the other one?
There's a
Attack,
guard, charge, and attack.
Yes,
are the
sorry.
3 actions.
Attack, guard, and charge. And so those are like our rock, paper, scissors.
All right, so once our cards are both down, we'll tap the flip.
Okay.
Oh, very nice. So I played an attack card and you played a guard. So if we look up at this diagram, but it's pretty intuitive, you block my attack. There's a cost associated with each card. We'll see on the attack, it says -1 chakra. We both start with 1. So I'm going to go to 0. And this doesn't cost you anything. Plus -0. So guarding is free. So you'll stay at 1.
Awesome.
So we'll take these cards, add them back to our hand.
All right.
And play another one. So once someone lands a hit, we add 1 to our hit counter, and the first to 3 hits wins.
Okay. Click and drag. All right.
My card is set. Let's see. Charge.
Charge.
Double charge. Like, it's worth mentioning now, since you're close. If you get to 3 chakra, that's going to be your max.
Okay.
And if you get to max, you can use your secret technique, which is this red card here, and that's a guaranteed hit.
Okay.
They can't block it. They can't attack through it. There's nothing they can do.
All right.
Doing pretty good for your first game.
I know.
There's 1. You're up in chakra.
Battling the founder here.
My favorite part about this game is just because I made it doesn't improve my chances of winning against anyone.
It's true. It's true.
And just like that, another successful guard. I'm being a little bit too aggressive. I thought you would be a little bit greedy and maybe go for that 3rd chakra.
I thought about it. You almost had me on it. And I was like, nah, he's going to think I'm going to do it.
That was the thought that I was chasing. I didn't get to switch the channels. Oh, and then he just socks me. So that's attack versus charge. That's going to be 1 hit for you.
So, and then I take 1 shot. Oh, shit.
Whoa.
I clicked too long. So, there we go.
All right. So, once a hit is landed, it's sort of like a karate tournament. You're playing for points. So, you got a point. We're both going to reset. So, we both go back to 1.
Okay.
So, you're already at 1. And then we go to round 2.
Right.
So I got to make sure I don't lose on stream in my own game. It's going to be the most important thing today.
All right.
All right, I'm swinging. Got him! Attack the charge.
So that takes...
So that's 1 hit for me. And then we both go back to 1.
Okay.
Snuck 1 in on you there. I figured you wouldn't expect me to do it again.
You were correct.
Right. I got to hit with 1 of these. All right, cards are up. Here's the flip. I'm blocking. I knew it. I smelled the bloodlust. You won't hit me and get away with it.
That takes me to 0 chakra, right?
That's going to take you to 0.
Okay.
So 0, you can only guard or charge.
So this is pretty intuitive, and it is. You're right. It's fun. It's fast paced. If I wasn't learning and I was a little more adept at it already, this would be a very fast paced game. Makes me think of War also. If anybody ever played that with an old game card deck.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan of War. I'll say it does have an element of strategy though, where it's like you could technically play cards randomly. But I think you have a better chance of, trying to figure out what do I think they're going to
definitely do? There is definitely more strategy here.
So if you're watching on the podcast, I just charged up on his guard, which means I'm up 2 to his 0.
Yep, still at 0. All right, ready?
Charging again. Nah, I'm not
Ah.
attacking. Like I said, once you hit 3, so that's my 3rd charge,
Yeah.
I can just play this, and that's gonna be guaranteed hit. Finish your opponent.
Oh. So that takes you to 2 hits.
2 hits. This
but
is
then we
game
both
point.
go back to 1 chakra, right?
Yep.
All
You
right.
got it now. You're a master.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it. All right. And the goal is to get to 3 hits.
You got it. I was so confident about everything that I was doing up until this point. It's like sometimes you get the thread and then you just lose it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I hope he's not attacking. Oh, of course. Of course. Of course.
So that takes 1 chakra from me, right?
Well, since you land a hit, it's not even gonna matter. You're gonna go back to 1.
That's right. Okay.
All right, folks. Place your
Here it
bets now
is.
in the comments.
Here it is.
It's 2-2. Who will win? Brett or D Major? Or Lamaruto is my ninja name. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
I'm in the don't camp because I'm lame.
It actually probably makes you lame if you do get it. No offense. Because you're cool with me if you do. I'm charging. Oh!
Charge.
Eye for an eye.
All right.
We're both in each other's heads.
What do I want to do? What do I want to do?
Now this is so tense. We're both 1 point away from max. Oh, Brett's card's up. Did he go for it? It's up to me. I don't think he did. I don't think he did. I don't think he did. Oh! That's respect in the ninja world. We both were just like, we're just gonna guard. See what you do. Okay. We both had the chance to go for it.
So what happens if we both attack? The attack doesn't land?
Attack doesn't land, and we both lose 1.
I'm sure that's somewhere on here.
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's probably in rules or something.
Yeah.
We thought, hey, we spent 3 years working on it. It's got to be in here. Oh, but as y'all are seeing, I can now shout out some of the artists as we're looking.
Yeah.
Oh! So these base actions, this is art done by Jail Draco. Really amazing stuff. The backgrounds on all of the cards, it's done by my friend Keepa Freeman. It's an amazing spray paint artist. So we got some beautiful spray painted backgrounds. The graphic design was done by my friend Jordan Miller, who lives in Trinidad and Tobago. But he helped make the different icons, choose fonts, things of that nature. And y'all already saw the art from Menez Salas. And we have some new artwork. This is just the quick play board, so it only has sort of like the base version of the game. But I'll get more into that after we finish. That was also a strategy, me trying to like take his momentum out. Because Brett's got the advantage now, so I'm trying to like slow the game down a little bit, make him stop thinking about it.
All right. All right.
Got him!
Oh, man.
Always swing twice. Hey, that was a very good game. But
that was a good game.
Your first impression.
I loved it. Seeing some of the comments that came through. So it's very fast paced, which I love. It's something that's easy to learn. It seems a little overwhelming at first. Maybe that's just because I'm slow when it comes to games, I feel like sometimes. But it was quick. Once we were in it, I got it, and that kind of it was fast paced, but not too fast. And you're right, there is some strategy about which card you pick. Do you do it twice? Do you go for it? Do you go for the attack? It was a lot of fun. I gotta say, it was a lot of fun, and I can imagine this being even better in person. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Like looking them in their soul.
yeah,
What would
exactly.
you
Like,
do?
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like, this was a blast on the screen. Don't get me wrong, but I can just imagine playing it at a con, playing it at somebody's house late at night. Like, that's fun, man.
And the best thing about that is we did get the game printed. So
Nice.
that will be a reality very soon. Here's our jumbo box. This has actually got the image. This virtual
Oh yeah, from
background
the
is kind of messing
background.
it up.
No, I see it now.
But this person is the one who won our first tournament. It's my friend Dre.
Nice.
So hey, if you like the game, if you like watching, like I said, in the link tree, you can join the Facebook group and you can start playing, and you might become a champion and be on one of our boxes.
That's awesome. And there's a Discord group. Is the Discord free to join, or like open to join too, or is it like limited access right now?
Right now, it's open. If
Okay.
you sign up for the Facebook group and you say, "Hey, can I join the Discord?" I'll send you an invite link. No problem.
Very cool. Speaking of printing, you did say you got printed. We're going to take a brief pause for our sponsor, Comics Wellspring.
Oh yeah.
What does it mean to feel inspired? To be moved? To be awed? To feel creative? Inspiration. It motivates us. It encourages us to create something epic. And the best part of it all is that it's all around us. Inspiration creates inspiration. Bring your stories to life and inspire your world. Print your comic books with Comics Wellspring.
Speaking of epic voiceovers, I love whoever did the voiceover.
That was really good.
I love Comics Wellspring. If I didn't, they wouldn't be a sponsor of the show, because we only accept sponsors from people who we truly believe in also. And I truly believe Comics Wellspring is doing great things for the indie comic community. If you don't follow them on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or wherever you happen to be at, follow them. They post great resources for creators, and you can really get a lot out of them for free. And then if you use them to print your stuff, you're not going to regret it. You're not going to regret it at all. So
probably the number one recommendation I hear when someone's like, "I got a new comic. Who should I go to?" Comics Wellspring.
Comics Wellspring.
Like, all right, I know.
I cannot count how many times people have told me. Some people have told me there's an error in their printing, and the printer didn't stop the run. They got the error. All their books were printed wrong. And then you hear people who go through Comics Wellspring. Comics Wellspring stops the printing. They call you and be like, "This is what's happening. You got to fix your print file," and you don't waste a bunch of money. You know, you don't. They stop the presses for you. It's great company.
I've definitely printed stuff out and got it, and they sent the email saying like, "Yeah, the print's a little messed up, but we already started."
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Whatever. Then I guess that's just how it's gonna be.
So let's get back to the game. Janken Jutsu. Yes, I think that's time number 4. So cons are back in session. Any plans on you guys tabling with this anywhere and playing with the game at cons?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's probably what we're most excited for. We're getting together a con schedule for next year.
Nice.
We already would frequent conventions and would like to have fun doing things with people. This just gives us another way to do that.
That's awesome. And as far as getting it printed, will we see a Kickstarter coming down the line? Was there going to be a crowdfunding campaign of any sorts, or are you just going to kind of pre-order print on demand?
So I will share this since it's our last live stream.
It is.
Secrets out there, y'all. If you join our Discord and play Janken Jutsu, you can get access to an early copy of the game. We do plan on doing a Kickstarter launch. It'll probably be next year. Got the days and stuff coming up, so you know, I'm sure there's a lot of things that are going to be going on, and we're not in a rush because, like I said, we have the game. if people do want to play it and buy it, maybe make it a Christmas gift, join our Discord, play a couple rounds, and maybe you'll have other people that would enjoy it.
Yeah. I gotta say, and so I'll get with you after the show too, and you can tell me the best way to share this with people for who are listening to the podcast, because you got to play it. You really got to play it. And if you're listening to the podcast, it probably wasn't the most interesting 10 minutes of the show for you listening to David and I play, but you got to play it because I thought it looked cool. I thought it was interesting before, but playing it makes me be like, fuck, I want a copy of that now. Like I want that in my family game library so that we can pull it out on a family game night and play.
Yeah. And if y'all thought that was cool, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The game gets a lot deeper. I'm a big fan of games like Yu-Gi-Oh! So we added these other cards. These are
I was going to
jutsu
say, what are
techniques.
those? We didn't see those.
So this you gotta become a secret member. I won't bore you all with the details, but this adds just another level of complexity for the game. So if you're playing it and you're liking it and you're like, this is cool, well, what else can we do?
Mm-hmm.
These are techs that might let you switch the cards you play after they're revealed, or gain more chakra. You can make your opponent lose chakra. You can play cards
and
without
are those
paying
cards
a cost.
that will come with the base set, or is that like an add-on?
That does come with the base set.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
So this is not a trading card game. I mean, I don't know if it will be one day, but
Right.
it's not the game where there's like hundreds of different cards for
Right.
everyone to collect. There's really just a lot of depth in what's there. We do have some expansion packs planned. That's actually why we're not launching the Kickstarter right now, because we have all the new jutsu. So we're like, we can just wait to do that. And if people want the game now and they want to buy it, they can. And they'll just be even more excited when they're like, yeah, we got twice as many jutsu and more events and contests and things of that nature. So
that's really cool.
I'm just excited. I'm really happy that you like playing it. That always warms my heart.
You know, it was a little. I was like, okay, we're gonna play this on air, and if it doesn't go well, then oh shit, I really like David. He's a cool guy. I wanted to go well, but no, that was a lot of fun. Like I'm sitting here thinking, like my daughter Maya, who is my nerd girl extraordinaire. I love her. She loves comic books. She loves superheroes. She loves drawing. She loves just like Magic the Gathering and stuff. You know, like she's into all that shit. She's 9 years old. She would love to sit down and play this game with me, like, or any of her siblings. Like she would be all in.
What's like I said, that link that I sent you, right now, me and you are the only people that have it. So if you wanted to play with them, I mean, you know, until we get you some cards.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome because they will love it. They will love it. So is there a way? This is probably a stupid question, right? So just bear questions. That's right. Only stupid people. So that's what I tell people at work all the time.
The question was fine. You're the
problem. Can more than two people play this at a time? Is there a way to adapt it to more than two people?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't a dumb question.
That can be not at all. It's a game that can be played in pairs. So we sort of have a format that it functions the same way that we were just playing. But let's say that you and another partner are playing. When someone uses a guard card, you can choose to switch them in, and then they would take the active seat and they would play. You know, both people have a certain amount of hit points, and you're trying to eliminate your opponent's team before your team's eliminated.
Nice.
And it's really cool when you start adding the different jutsus and techniques, because it's like, I'm gonna bring them in because they have this move and it's gonna, be able to do this, and then they can switch me back in. It really kind of, I think it appeals to people that also like fighting games. We've played with people who have said that, I don't really like card games. I'm not into poker, Yu-Gi-Oh, or complicated. But since this feels a little bit more like a fighting game, because you're reading your opponent, you're choosing really simple actions. It can still bring in that sort of enjoyment.
You're right. It does feel I like card deck building games and stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering. But this does feel like a little bit more, I don't know, interactive. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. That's the best I can do. You got to play it. You got to experience it to really get it. I'm going to drop, sorry, I'm slightly distracted. I'm dropping your Linktree link again in the comments section. So if you want to get in on the Facebook group or the Discord group, hit that link up and it'll get you there. So after the Kickstarter, what's next? After you kind of get it mass produced, is there, what do you have planned after that? Like we talked about comic books. I could easily see more animation coming from this. I mean, it seems like you have a world of possibilities out there in front of you. What are you going to focus on?
So the story behind the game is something that we definitely want to put focus on, especially, you know, if we bring it to market and it does really well, we're like, wow, we actually have some money where we can make a comic book. You know, we figured that every card game usually has a good story attached to it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do that. We were definitely inspired by Naruto when we created the game. You know, it's really cool just sort of thinking about this ninja world. But what we wanted to do differently, and they did it really well toward like the beginning of Naruto. Like they're ninjas, they're stealthy, but sort of toward the end they just kind of like are just fighting and throwing out these big attacks. And we just kind of felt like at a certain point you're not really being a ninja, you're just a superhero.
Exactly.
So we wanted to explore sort of this ninja village that does sort of covet more of like this secretiveness, this sort of like being isolated from everyone else. But it also, the situations that happen force them to have to go out into the world. And it really takes this look at tradition versus progression and what things are worth keeping and what things need to be changed to continue to grow.
That's really
so
cool.
We're really excited to bring that story to people.
Yeah, that's really cool. So playingcards.io, people can play for free. Is there plans to expand the virtual play option beyond what it is right now on playingcards.io?
Oh yeah, having an app, that's the dream.
There you go.
Like people being able to pull it up and just play anyone in the world and rank up. That is where we want to go. So we have a lot of that infrastructure now, but it's all manual. So like we have rank matches. We have, you know, if you compete and you beat other people in rank matches, you get more points and you can compete in the tournament and you can win exclusive holographic set of the cards, which we won't be selling. You know, be a champion on the box. So there's a lot of things that we've been doing in that nature. So hopefully, as it continues to grow, an app will be in the near future.
That's really cool. That's really cool. You have a world of possibility in front of you with this thing. It's a lot of fun. It's easy to learn. I mean, you taught me there in like 5 minutes, tops, probably less than that. And then, I mean, by the time we were done, like I kind of wanted to play again, but I knew we had a show to get back to. So because I seek vengeance because you beat me, and
hey, I'm always down for a rematch. You gotta give them a rematch. You can't just walk away. Exactly. There's no honor in that.
No. But it's a lot of fun, and like I was saying, I think getting those cards physically to pull out for a family game night or whatever, you know, quick game with the kids after school, it's just going to be a really, really cool thing. I could see kind of having buddies over with pizza and beer, you know, and just playing the game.
Right, we're all adults here. It's so much fun to play for drinks.
Yeah,
you land a hit, you got a drink. And if I beat you, you take a shot.
If I win, I take a shot. You know, maybe I'm just taking shots. I don't know.
Whatever's your flavor. But it's really fun, and like you said, it's a game that I feel like anybody that knows how to add and subtract can play. We have these really cool game mats.
Oh, you disappeared.
Uh-oh. This virtual background is so
virtual
weird.
background.
Like, put it up and it's
there
like,
it is. There it is.
The background.
And I think I saw some of that on
I'm a ninja.
the Facebook page too. So if you're looking to see in more detail, I think there was a video or pictures on the Facebook page. There you go. Right there.
There we go. Fantastic.
That's awesome.
So, you know, makes it easy to keep track of and play. But yeah.
So I ask this to comic creators all the time, but I know that if there's two things that just go together, it seems like it's comics and gaming, right? Like everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people who love comics love gaming. I think it's that escape and going to some place where you can be whatever you want. But there's a lot of people out there who maybe have an idea for a game who don't know where to begin. What's one piece of advice you would give for somebody wanting to make a game?
The most important part about developing a game is you got to be able to play it with people from one set. So whatever that looks like, you need to create some way where you can play it with people. Maybe it doesn't look the way you want it to look, but it's the best way to test out the functions, because you can sit there and think about a game for years and years, but until you start actually playing it with other people, there'll just be things that you don't realize. Like there were things about the game that was simple to us. When we played with other people, they were like, wait, what does this mean? What am I supposed to do? And it was like, okay, maybe if we added this or changed this to the card, it would make more sense. So I would, like I said, Playing Cards IO is amazing. It's really great for especially like simple card games that maybe it would be hard to do a deck building game, because you would need to actually know how to like use the program and like upload decks. It's not like it's complicated, but some people just don't feel like doing that.
Yeah.
But a game like the one that I played with Vince, his game Crossplay, it was great for it because, you know, it's kind of like Uno.
Right.
So, you know, not a whole lot of things going on. But even from us playing it, we were able to give him feedback about the game. And he's like, this is really cool. I'm glad that I know this about it before I print it out and start selling it to people, because, you know, it's just good things to know. So whatever that is, I've seen people cut out little sheets of paper and write what cards do on them, or draw out a game board, whatever that looks like for you. It doesn't need to be on the computer if you're not tech savvy. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, but it just needs to be something that is able to be played. And then you'll really be able to build it. You'll know whether it's worth putting more money into it. Maybe you might realize through that process that I don't really like this.
Yeah.
Before you start spending a bunch of money on artwork and designs and all of that stuff, just play it.
Play. So you said that you have been developing this for 3 years, I think you said, right?
Yeah.
Almost 3 years. So for 3 years, you've been refining and testing and making sure people understand. And so it's not a quick process.
Not at all. Like rough timeline, first year, it was, you know, minimum viable product. It was literally pictures of me on cards that my brother John designed, and they didn't have any text on them. So like for people to figure out what cards did, they had to go somewhere else and read like this sheet that had like what all of the different effects were that we changed constantly. So it was like it took a lot of maintenance. It wasn't like the most well refined thing, but it let us play and it let us improve it. So when we went to go print the game, it wasn't like, is there people gonna like this? Is it gonna be fun? Are they gonna understand what's going on with the cards? We figured that out. So we spent about a year finding artists and getting the artwork together. It takes time. And you know, this year is when we actually got it printed out.
That's so cool.
So
it's like with comic books. People sometimes don't put in a critical element of their story because they got it up here and they assume the audience is going to know it. And with games too, you got it up here as a creator, but it may not be as intuitive for somebody coming to the game brand new. And so testing.
We're not making these things for ourselves. You know, I'd give the same advice with a comic. Make something that people can read. It may not have pictures. It may just be a script. It may, whatever it is, let them read it and let them tell you what they actually think. So when you go and make it, you can be a little bit more confident that this is something that I know people have given feedback, that I've taken in and made it better.
Yeah. I'm assuming John is your brother because he's been in the comment section.
He said you'll settle all his arguments with Janken Jutsu.
Yeah. I love it.
Getting a promotion. Play me for it. Hey, that just funny quick story. There was, I think the most high stakes game of rock paper scissors ever played was for like this $500,000 property.
Oh wow!
It was this rich person that was like, "Yeah, you guys can play rock paper scissors, and whoever gets it wins." It's like, imagine
and go. My kids like pulling out like the nuclear bomb and stuff like that, like, you know, like stuff that doesn't really exist within rock paper scissors, and being like, "Oh, I nuclear bombed you."
I use
No.
water bear.
Yeah.
Can't nuke that.
They keep living. Oh, David, it's always great having you on and talking with you. This is an amazing game. I encourage everybody to go join the Facebook group, join the Discord group if you're into Discord, and get your hands on some cards when they're available, and learn to play on playingcards.io, because it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And it's something that I could, like I've said it a zillion times now, but I can imagine me playing this. And I think that's half the battle sometimes with some games, is that, if you can't imagine yourself doing it, you're like kind of like, but I see myself doing this with my kids, with friends, with my wife. She probably wouldn't play it because too nerdy for her, but everything else, I think that it's a game that a lot of people could easily get into. So thank you for bringing this. Thank you for being our guest on our last, for now, we'll say last for now, live stream. Looking forward to doing some few things different with the show and doing a more intimate, pre-recorded format probably in the coming month or so. We'll have our first new episode drop. So
I'm excited for that. And thanks so
yeah.
much for having me.
No problem,
Again, shout out to everybody that helped make this project. I couldn't have done it on my own. Didn't do it on my own. For everybody that tested it, that made the artwork for it, that even just, sent me positive energy when I felt like no one was going to care.
Yeah. Yeah. And I dropped your Linktree link again in the comments section. If you're listening on the podcast, it will be in the show notes section. So check that out. Check all the links out. Join those groups and get further integrated into Janken Jutsu. I really didn't think I was going to be able to say that tonight.
Every time you nailed it. Nailed it. You're a ninja.
Everybody out there, thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you when we see you.
Peace.